Alright, so let's start with 1000 to the 1/3. The 1 is the exponent attached to 1000, and the 3 is the index for our radical. So this becomes 1000 to the power of 1, and we want the with an index of 3, or the cube root. And so that 1000 breaks down to 10 times 10 times 10, and so the index, the 3, tells us if a number repeats 3 times, then it gets to come out. So the cube root of 1000 is 10. Alright, so now we're going to look at 100 to the 5/2 power. And so the 2 is going to be the index, so it's going to be 100 to the 5th power. We want the square root of that. And so if you think about what 100 to the 5th power means, that just means we have 5 100s. And so in order for us to take a 100 out, there has to be 2 of them. And so here's 100, 2 groups. And so this becomes 100 times 100 on the outside. So that's this one, and on the inside we're still left with 100. Now I don't need to write the 2 there because it's a square root, so I can just leave it like that. So now 100 times 100 gives us 10,000, and now we have the square root of 100, which is just 10, and so now 10,000 times 10 is 100,000. Alright, so let's look at the cube root of 1000 squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rewrite this as 1000 times 1000. And so now 1000 breaks down to 10 times 10 times 10. And then I have another set of 10 times 10 times 10. And so since we're looking for the cube root, I have my group of 3. So it means that 10 gets to come out. I have my other group of 3, so that gets to come out. There's nothing left on the inside, and so 10 times 10 equals 100. Alright, and the next one, the 4th root of 10,000. And so if you start breaking 10,000 down, it just becomes 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, and so I have 4 of them. So I need 4 in order for them to come to the outside of the radical, and so the 4th root of 10,000 is just 10. Now I know you can do all of these on your calculator, but it's important you know why the answer is what it is, not just because the calculator tells you. Alright, so let's take a look at this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the fractions first. Alright, so we have 1/2 and 1/5. And so when you're multiplying, remember that you're just going to add the exponents. And so we need to do 1/2 plus 1/5. So off to the side over here. So you have a common denominator of 10. So I multiply that by 5, by 2, and so that gives me 7/10. So right now I have x to the 7/10 times, let's go ahead and add these two, negative 3 plus 2, which is going to give us x to the negative 1, and then x to the 7/10 on the bottom. And since these are identical, they cancel. So now I'm left with x to the negative 1, and that negative exponent changes the location. And so I'm left with 1 over x to the power of 1, which I don't need to write. And so now this simplifies to this. The only thing we have to worry about is x cannot equal 0. So this is our answer here.